This is multiplying radicals with distributive property. Now, before we go on, make sure you know your perfect square roots. Have them memorized. Know how to simplify radicals with variables. And last, know the rules of multiplying radicals, where you multiply the coefficients first, then you multiply the numbers inside the radicals, and eventually simplify. Now, let's get down to business. Now it's going to be our job to simplify this multiplication problem to the simplest form to the best of our abilities. And we're going to do that through distributive property. I like to think of the outside number as an archer that shoots his arrows. And every arrow means you're going to multiply. So you're going to do 3 times 2. That is 6. So I'm going to multiply the 3 times the positive radical 5. And that's going to give me a positive 3 radical 5. At this point, there's nothing more I can do because you can only combine the terms if they look alike or they're like terms. In this case, they're not. 6 doesn't have a radical 5, therefore I can't do anything. So I leave it. Next, we have a radical on the outside, but I'm going to do the same strategy. I'm going to draw my arrows like an archer. Then I'm going to multiply radical 2 times 5, and that's going to be 5 radical 2. And next I'm going to multiply radical 2 times a negative radical 3, and that's going to give me a negative radical 6. And as you can see, I have different radicals, or radicands inside the radical signs, and there's nothing more I can do because they're not like terms, and I am finished. Next looks like a much harder problem, but it's really not. I'm still going to do the same exact thing, and I'm going to stick to my rules of multiplying radicals. So first I'll do 2 times 4, and that's 8. And since the 4 has no radical sign connected to it, I'm just going to bring the radical 3 next to the 8. And next I'm going to do 2 radical 3 times negative radical 6, and that's going to give me a negative 2. And a square root of 18. Now I know I can't combine because they're not like terms yet, but I know I could break down this 18 into a perfect square times non-perfect square. In this case, it's going to be 9 times square root of 2. And I'll bring down the 2, the minus sign, and the 8 radical 3. Next, I could break the 3 out of this radical 9, and I'll bring down the radical 2, and the other 2 we were multiplying the radicals by. And I'll also bring down the 8 radical 3. Now, I will combine the 2 and the times the 3, and that's going to be 6 radical 2. Keep the minus sign, 8 radical 3. It looks like there's nothing more I can do because we have, looks like, unlike terms there, and I'm done. A lot more steps, but nothing you can't handle. Our next problem is a little different. It's a binomial times a binomial. In this case, you're going to have to do double distributive property. Other people might solve it by FOIL, but I like to do double distributive property, and that's where I take the first term and I multiply it by both terms in the other expression there. And so I'm going to do 3 times 3, and that's 9. Then I'm going to do 3 times positive radical 5, and I'm going to get a positive radical 3 radical 5. Okay, and now I'm done with the first term in the expression, and I'll work on the next one. And this is where I do the distributive property on the second term inside the first expression, or the first binomial, and that's radical 5 times 3, and that's going to give me a positive 3 radical 5. And then I'm going to do radical 5 times a positive radical 5, and that's going to be a positive radical 25. Now I look where I could simplify or break things down, and I see I have a square root of 25, and that's a perfect square root. So we're going to drag a 5 out of that. We could bring down the other terms. Every time you do something with the expression here, or the equation, you need to bring all the terms down so you're very organized. Now I see I have a couple of like terms. I first have the radicals. They both look the same. I have positive 3 radical 5 plus positive 3 radical 5, and that's going to be a 6 radical 5, positive 1. And I bring down my other terms. And my next pair of like terms are the constants, 9 plus 5, and that's going to be 14 plus 6 radical 5. And that's all we could do. That's all you can do. So now it's your turn to try. So pause the video here, and once you're done, unpause the video to reveal the answers. Well, I know you got it right, and if you did, throw yourself a dance party, and remember, the only time success comes before work is in the dictionary. This has been a Struggling Student production. If you like this video, please press the like button and subscribe to our channel.